We work directly with our clients on a daily basis, helping identify and solve their key learning needs. Asking questions is at the core of what we do.
I've been doing this job for 3.5 years, and I'm still adjusting the way I do things. I'm still learning more from my colleagues.
We are headed towards this bigger goal of changing the way that people learn in the professional environment.
We wanted to articulate how a GLG research professional does their job really well.
What we're going to present for you is our reimagination of the Essential Project workflow. And we've turned each step into a series of challenging questions we think set the standard for really excellent results.
Can you solve problems with the smartest professionals in the world? What I love about this stage is when done really well, you arm yourself with enough information to impress the client later on, but you also give yourself enough specificity that this becomes a true hunt for the best possible solution. This is the step where the client first comes to us with a question that they're trying to answer, and we have a conversation with them about what the question is, why they're asking that, and basically scope out exactly what that question involves, because typically that question is going to have a whole host of other questions around it. This isn't about knowing as much as the client. It's about a mastery of our capabilities, a sense of humility to understand what you don't know, and the ability to think on your feet while you're on the phone with the client and lay out a game plan that's going to allow you to find the best solution.
Now that we've spoken with the client and have had a thoughtful and engaging conversation and really feel like we've honed in on our client's research needs, can you identify where in the world the answers lie? As a research professional at GLG, you really do have the world at your fingertips. We recently hit over 500,000 existing council members who we work with. We also, every day, are bringing in fresh perspectives and new recruits into the network. It's not every day that you can call the former director of intelligence at the CIA or the former postmaster general and ask them about their experience. Communication is one of the best things that we learn here. You really have to be nimble and thoughtful in how you're engaging with clients. It's getting up to speed on companies in a really quick and thoughtful way so that we really are asking the right questions at the right time.
Speaking with our most senior council members is exciting, and it demands a lot of responsibility. It's the ultimate training for learning how to engage with senior professionals in all walks of life.
Research at GLG is not becoming an expert in the industry that your client cares about. Research at GLG is finding the right resources to answer the questions.
If you've bridged that gap and if you've been engaged in your work from the beginning across talking to your client initially and scoping out the problem, then this is where you get to show off a little bit. This is where you really get to prove that you're solving problems with the smartest professionals in the world. This is where you can say, I know we didn't talk about this thing, but I talked to a few people and they really think that this part of the world is something that's really moving the needle here. I think we're all excited to find out that there was this mutual theme for us, which is we're driven by the joy of this investigative process.
We are not trained to attack the obvious, we are trained to attack the unobvious. We don't want you to just take that at face value. We want you to do your own homework, and we're here to help you do that.
This step gets at something really critical about GLG, which is, are you the type of person that's going to do anything you have to do to make this happen? If you fall down on the last 3% of the logistics, then whatever you were working on, that call, that meeting, it's not going to move forward, and all that work is kind of for nothing. The people who succeed at GLG are ones who were able to balance, on one hand, the big picture, but then also the minutia.
I'm probably working with 24 different parties on a given basis any different day. For all of that to function, you have to be the cat herder. And that part is really difficult, but it's also really enjoyable.
Final step, can you become essential to the person that you're working with? That is a really high bar. But at this point in the project, you've had all these different touch points, both with your client and with experts, to learn about the topics that really interest them. If you're really doing your job well, then it should be natural for you to be involved in what they're learning next.
In the moment when I can flip from just another name in the email box to a trusted advisor is extraordinarily impactful and really, really enjoyable. There's no like walking in and convincing someone they should trust you. You need to earn that trust every single day, and that's really the hardest part of this job.
For me, that means thinking critically about everything that you're doing, making sure that the questions you started with are still the most important questions. If they're not, what are the new questions? What have you learned on the path you've been on so far that you can integrate into your work to make it even better?
If we're essential, this isn't kind of a straight line from start to finish. This is really a cycle that keeps on going.
That's why we broke the essential project workflow out into steps, because the margin between being a mediocre client service professional and an excellent client service professional is very small. And so in order to get to that difference, you have to achieve highly at each stage.
The core message here is that this is not a linear process. This is an interdependent and dynamic system that, when handled properly, actually drives the momentum of our businesses.
People at GLG thrive who have a clear understanding of a team goal and all sprint towards the same goal. We're all going to get there together faster than we would alone.
This role, when performed with vigor, when performed with precision, and when performed with consistency, is actually very difficult and intellectually rigorous.
This job is really exciting when you are pushing yourself to a very high standard.
To actually go outside that box and figure out, what do I need to learn, how do I learn it, and then to actually go and get it. That's really what we look for.